What's up, Team Lethal fans? Mustang King in the building. I'm back in action, and this is the Lethal Lowdown edition, February 2025, where we talk about industry news, what's going on here at Lethal Performance, as well as other new products. So I'm going to get rolling on this, get this started off with some big news for us locals here in South Florida. We're talking about possibly the reopening of Palm Beach International Raceway, which is formerly known as Moroso. Now, our local track has been closed for many years. I've actually lost track of how long it's been, but it's really sad because it was a great track. It was local to us here. Honestly, we can pick up here at the office, load up a car, go up there, race, and come back and get back to our homes at a reasonable time. Now we have to travel about 3 hours to Bradenton. Nothing wrong with Bradenton at all. Those guys do a wonderful job, but obviously having a track local to us made things very convenient. It is closed down. It's been closed down for a while now. I believe that the property owners were not looking to sell it to another person who was going to open a racetrack. They were looking at, I believe, having a Walmart distribution facility there, and it caused a lot of problems here. Obviously, for one, you know, a lot of people that like to race ended up now on the streets. You've got a lot of young people out there who want to take their cars and go fast with them. It's not safe for anyone out there. You know, losing that track to us was a big deal. We fought hard. There was a lot of stuff going on here with the county and a lot of racers supporting the ability to not allow them to build that Walmart facility on that property. And eventually what happened was the deal fell through. However, during Sick Week, there were some rumors floating around that Palm Beach International Raceway would be reopened again, most likely by Raul Torres, as well as his wife, who now manage SGMP, South Georgia Motorsport Park. As you've seen, he and his wife, as well as the rest of the team there, have done a wonderful job at that track. I mean, they came in and did a phenomenal job on fixing that place up, getting all the vendors straight, and getting people to the track for awesome events, which we'll get around to here shortly to talk about Sick Week. But the rumors were that Raul was in talks with the guys who own Palm Beach International Raceway, and we're looking to purchase it to reopen the track. The track is still sitting there, weeds growing everywhere. I mean, it's been not used for years now, like I said. So hopefully Raul and his family and team members get this going. We love to see a racetrack here. Let me know what you guys think out there in general about racetracks closing down around the country here. It's really sad to see, as well as for those out there who support them reopening PBIR for us racers around here. We love to see it happen, so let's go, baby. Speaking about Sick Week, which just ended last week, it's a great event for you guys out there that don't know about it. It takes place at multiple different tracks here in Florida where you actually have to trailer your own tools and stuff with your car, go to a track, race your car few times, get your times, and then next pit stop is another track, another part of the state here, which starts out at South Georgia Motorsports Park and ends up there. I guess they're considered the host. From what I saw, it looked like a great event. A lot of people running some really fast times out there and having a really good time. The feedback on it is awesome every year. It seems like that event is growing and looks like a really cool event. We actually had one of our employees' boyfriend, Alex Corella, in Ginger Red there. Unfortunately, he had some issues with the car, but we know Alex will be back up here running shortly. They love doing events like that. We also had a whole bunch of other friends there from the Lujan Motorsports family, and it's great to see them out there, as well as Steve Smith from Tint King, a local friend of mine here, racing his Trans Am. I believe he had a best ETA or mile an hour at the event. So cheers to you guys out there for who actually made the event. You know, listen, hey, you go out there, you race, stuff breaks, it happens. That's all part of racing. Any of you guys out there know about racing, shit happens, and that's how it goes. So wishing all of our guys out there who did break and didn't get to finish the event the best of luck on getting their cars back up and running and getting back out there and kicking some ass. Continuing the subject of Sick Week, a big shout out to Brett LaSala for running his personal best during the event. Brett went 6:07 at 236 miles an hour. His best ever in Snot Rocket 3.0. You know, I've had the luxury of actually spending some time with Brett over at Bradenton Motorsports Park and seen him do some testing. Everyone knows that car now, what he's doing with that modular motor in there. It's insane. Super nice guy. He's got a great team. Motion Raceworks, Rife Sensors, all those guys out there. They're just, you know, again, avid racers who love going fast. And I remember seeing him going something like 620s and pushing it again, going faster. We're all hoping for him to go 5s, but he did go a 607 at 236 miles an hour, which is simply bonkers. I'm rooting for you out there, Brett. I want to see you go a 5, man. Hopefully I get to see it happen here shortly. But big shout out to you guys for kicking some ass and showing what these people out there who give us a hard time, us Ford guys. You know, there's that big Ford, Chevy, Dodge rivalry going on, but Brett is showing people what you can do with a modular Ford motor. So cheers to you, man. Congrats. See here. Industry news. Sure you guys out there heard about the GT350. Well, they're bringing 2 versions back. They're doing the GT350 as well as a GT350R. Now, the GT350 and R will be produced together in a total number of 562 cars total. That matches exactly what Ford produced in 1965 for the GT350. Pretty cool to see it come back. There's been a lot of talk about it. Some people hate it, some people like it. I don't know. I mean, I love the fact that obviously Shelby is working with Ford still on building performance cars, that we still have these cars, obviously with the whole green initiative and electric cars out there, to see Ford and Shelby still building combustion vehicles out there. That's a good thing, all right? We want that. You can knock it all you want, but let's give them that, at least that they're still building cars for the enthusiasts. They're making horsepower, and we're talking 810 horsepower on the GT350, and I believe like 830 horsepower on the GT350R. These are powered by the Gen 6 3-liter Whipple Supercharger kit. Congrats to Whipple Superchargers for landing another awesome deal with a great product. I run their Gen 6 3-liter supercharger on both my Dark Horse as well as my manual GT Premium car. These guys obviously are the best in the game. It's obviously why Ford and Shelby chose them for their vehicles. You guys know that the other Shelby cars also use Whipple Superchargers products. So again, cheers to the Whipple Superchargers crew, my man Dustin out there, and Shelby and Ford for bringing back the GT350. Now, talk a little bit about the specs here. Like I mentioned, 810 horsepower on the GT350, 830 horsepower on the 350R. They've got an exhaust by Shelby by Borla Performance catback exhaust. Front and rear lowering springs. They've got front and rear sway bars. We've also got 20 by 9.5 front, 20 by 11.5 Flow Forge alloy wheels. Bunch of colors here. 6 base colors: ingot silver, Oxford white, race red, carbonized gray, shadow black, and a new attention grabbing option. I'm not quite sure what that means, but hopefully we'll see some pictures and get some more info about that shortly. We're talking now 4 stripe colors. You're allowed to do blue, black, white, and silver stripes on the vehicle. Torque flow wheels for enhanced structural integrity and performance. Lighter for enhanced handling, braking, and acceleration, making for a balance of strength, weight reduction, and performance enhancement. And that is on the GT350. Now, let's talk about the GT350R. They've got street legal, but for the serious weekend track warrior with track-only version coming soon. So the GT350R differentiates itself from the 350 by having a few carbon fiber options. We're talking about a carbon fiber interior tub, as well as optional carbon fiber racing seats and harness, carbon fiber trim, integrated roll cage, Trans Am spec high-speed carbon fiber aero package, fully adjustable JRI race struts and shocks with remote reservoir, Pro Systems Alcon racing brakes, numerous chassis upgrades, and more. I have had the chance to own a GT350 in the past. This was a non-R car in 2016. We had an Avalanche gray car with the manual in it, and actually that's all they offered it in was the manual, TR3160 I believe it was, and we had a lot of fun with that car. We put a Whipple Supercharger on there. That car made something like mid-800 wheel horsepower easily. So I'm curious to know what you guys think about the GT350 and 350R that's going to be coming out here. Still no word on the new Shelby GT500, which I'm personally looking forward to. I know that this 350 attracts a lot of people who do road course stuff. However, I want to see that GT500 come out swinging, making tons of power. Will it have a Whipple on it? Will it be a TVS? Are they going to go with the 5.2 Predator? There's a lot of stuff out there. You know, that's another thing we're talking about this new GT350 from Shelby. It looks like they are using the 5-liter Coyote motor, not the 5.2-liter Predator motor. So, you know, a lot of people have commented about that stuff. They feel that kind of Ford's lacking on it. Again, I personally want to give them props. I thank them for still building those cars, internal combustion engine vehicles here, and offer them to us racers out here. You know, without them, we really wouldn't be out here doing what we're doing. And, you know, I think there'd be a lot of upset people if that stuff went away, so let's give them a little bit of slack and some props for still building those cars for us. We're talking a little more about racing, and Ford won big over at the Rolex 24 at Daytona with the GT3 car. They went first and third place, making it the first time having a global victory for Ford in the new GT3, as well as their 20th time placing at the Rolex 24. Also want to throw a big shout out to my man Billy Johnson and his racing partner Robert for placing third overall at the BMW M Endurance Challenge up at Daytona. They were racing the Core Motorsports GT4 and did a phenomenal job at the event. So cheers to you guys. Congrats. I love you, Billy. If you guys aren't familiar with Billy, you can go back and check some of our videos. We took delivery of our 2020 GT500 up at Weikert Ford. Billy did the burnouts in the parking lot. Our Focus RS, he was drifting in the lot. Billy's done a whole bunch of stuff with us, as well as a live video we did on the announcement of the 2020 GT500. He is a guy who's heavily involved in Ford and racing. Guy's awesome. He actually was involved in a really terrible accident not too long ago, and it's great to see him back behind the wheel of the car. So go Billy, keep on kicking ass, bro. Well, that concludes the industry news portion of the Lethal Lowdown. Now let's talk a little bit about what's going on here at Lethal Performance, new products and other stuff that's happening. We're going to start off by covering the Lethal Edition Supercharger kits for the 24 and up Mustang. You guys, I went over this on the last Lethal Lowdown. We have Stage 1 and Stage 2 kits, Lethal Edition Whipple Supercharger kits available. These are basically the same thing that Whipple offers. However, we've got our own custom lids which are cast with the Lethal skull and crossbone logo on there. It looks phenomenal. We've got some awesome engraved nameplates on there, and we also include a Grip Tech Supercharger pulley on both Stage 1 and Stage 2, as well as the Lethal Performance Fuel Pump Voltage Booster on all Stage 2 kits. Now, we just launched Stage 3 and Stage 4 kits, so let's talk about it. The Stage 3 and Stage 4 Lethal Edition Whipple kits are for those guys out there who are not comfortable with the horsepower range that they're making with a Stage 2 kit. I mean, there's nothing wrong with making mid 700 wheel horsepower on pump gas with a kit that is 50 state certified. I mean, the fact that you could bolt that supercharger on, put 93 octane in, and still pass emissions in all 50 states, making 750 wheel horsepower is phenomenal. However, there's a lot of guys out there, just like me, and most of you guys out there who are listening who want to make more horsepower, so we launched both Stage 3 and Stage 4 kits. Now, the Stage 3 Lethal Edition Whipple Supercharger kit includes a few other items that the Stage 2 kit doesn't. We include the Whipple Supercharger carbon fiber intake tube. It's a really nice upgrade over that factory tube that comes from Whipple. When you purchase the kit, they have like a rubber looking tube. It's not bad looking, but obviously carbon fiber looks way better in the engine bay. My personal opinion. We also include in there two Grip Tech Supercharger pulleys. We've got a 3.75 as well as a 3.50 Supercharger pulley included in the kit for that Stage 3 setup. Now, you guys know you're going to be making more boost, probably 3.5, 4 pound more boost with that 3.5 inch pulley over the pulley that came with your kit. So we do recommend you guys use a basically a fuel mixture, either 93 octane and an octane booster, race fuel or E30 in there, obviously to prevent detonation as well as pulling timing on there and to make the full power potential that that Stage 3 kit is going to allow you to make. The Stage 4 Lethal Edition Whipple Supercharger kit is essentially very similar to the Stage 3 Lethal Edition kit. However, we also throw in Whipple's 120mm throttle body. Now, all these stage kits are available on our website right now for the 24 and up Mustang GT and Dark Horse. And remember guys, we also do have Lethal Edition kits available now for the 11 to 23 Mustang as well. So head on over to Lethal Performance and check out the Lethal Edition Supercharger kits today made by Whipple Superchargers. Spring is right around the corner where we've got a whole bunch of sales coming up. Get ready for the month of March where we kick off our March Madness sales, spring sales, tax rebate sales, whatever you want to call it. We're going to have a whole bunch of sales and savings on all your favorite parts here at Lethal Performance, so definitely stay tuned to all that stuff. Now, like I mentioned guys, I was out of the country for a while. A lot of things were happening here at Lethal Performance. We wrapped up our giveaway, so unfortunately I was not here to announce the giveaway winner myself. So right now I want to give a big shout out and congratulations to Mr. Danny V out of Arizona for winning the Team Lethal F-150 giveaway truck along with $15,000 in cash. congrats, man. I know Danny has been a long-time customer of Lethal Performance, has ordered a ton of parts from us, so you definitely deserve it, man. Also, I want to give a big shout out to the rest of you guys out there who purchased all of your parts from us and got in on the giveaway. For you guys out there who didn't win, you'll have another shot at it here shortly as we announce another giveaway here soon. But again, thank you guys really for all of your support during that giveaway. The amount of swag that we sold and parts that we sold over the last few months, for you guys getting in on the giveaway, we really appreciate it. It means a lot to us. So again, stay tuned. We'll be doing another giveaway here shortly. Also, I want to give a big shout out to all of the vendors that were involved in that build with us. We've got some great partners in the industry. Guys, you saw the build. If you did not, definitely make sure to check out. It is on our YouTube channel, the entire build on it. We've got WBA Performance in there. We've got Whipple Superchargers. We had Cervini's, Cooks, Corsa, IHC Suspension, RK Sport, UPR Products. We had also, let me think, we also had Weld, we had Forge Star in there, a whole bunch of guys involved in that build, and I can't thank you enough. If I did miss you, I'm sorry, but I do appreciate all of you guys contributing to our build, so thanks a lot. It was a great time filming it. I love that truck. Honestly, I was hoping Danny wasn't going to take the truck so I could buy it from him, because I really like the truck. So if you change your mind, Danny, I might be interested in buying it from you. I mean, it's a pretty badass little setup. So anyways, guys, thank you again, and stay tuned. That is the February edition of the Lethal Lowdown, guys. If you have any questions, reach out to us here at 561-753-8105. I'm the Mustang King, and I'm out of here! What do you got to say to that, Tom? Huh? What? Did you fat finger another post? You know, I didn't read the last post, and I replied to it saying that it was something completely different from what the guy was looking for, but at least I type it out correctly, man. I mean, come on, bro. And quit giving me that face. Why you always gotta have that face on, man? Tom, congratulations, by the way, on the new baby. Love you, Uncle Tom. Congrats, Tom. Love you, man. We're talking a little bit more about racing. We're talking a little bit about more. What are we talking about? A little bit about more or more? I don't know. I'm still shot. Honestly. What's wrong with me? I can't figure it out. Help me out here. Anybody? Tom, help me out. Tom, what's wrong with me, bro? Why are you looking at me like that, man? Seriously, bro, you always give me that look. Christ. All right. Well, that concludes the industry news. And yeah. Man, always f***ing it up at the end. Yep. Do it again. Fuck, man. One of those days. Just one of those days!